Homeless pregnant woman saves boy on street, without knowing he's a billionaire's son. Jessica Wilson held her 7-month belly as she walked through the wet streets of New York City. She had been sleeping wherever she could find shelter for 3 weeks, after losing her job as a cleaner and being unable to pay the rent for her small room in the South Bronx. That's when she heard the desperate scream. A child of about 5 had slipped from someone's hand and was running toward the busy avenue, chasing a ball that was rolling away. Without thinking of her own risks, Jessica dropped the bag with her only belongings and ran as fast as she could. She managed to grab the boy by his shirt just as a bus passed by, honking furiously. "It's okay, little one, you're safe," said Jessica, kneeling on the sidewalk, hugging the child who was shaking with fright. "My dad! Where's my dad?" the boy cried, looking in every direction. Jessica got up with difficulty and also looked around. The rain was starting to get heavier, and people were running for shelter. There was no adult nearby who seemed to be looking for a child. "What's your name, sweetie?" asked Jessica, wiping the tears from the boy's face with the sleeve of her old coat. Ethan Harrison," he replied between sobs. The last name made Jessica hesitate for a second. Harrison was a name she often saw in the newspapers she collected to use as blankets on cold nights. But surely there were many families with that last name. "Where did you last see your dad, Ethan?" "Over there." The boy pointed to an elegant office building across the street. "We were getting out of the elevator, and I saw the ball. I ran to get it." Jessica looked at the building. It was clearly an expensive corporate building, with a marble lobby and mirrored glass. It wasn't the kind of place she would feel comfortable entering. The rain intensified, and Ethan began to shiver. Jessica took off her own coat, even though she only had a long-sleeved shirt underneath, and wrapped it around the boy. "Let's get out of this rain, sweetie. We'll find your dad later." She took Ethan to the entrance of a closed store where they could take shelter. The boy was still crying softly, clinging to Jessica's skirt. "Do you have your dad's phone number?" she asked. Ethan shook his head. "Daddy says I'm too little to memorize big numbers." Jessica sighed. She looked at her own wet, worn-out clothes, then at Ethan. The boy was wearing clearly expensive clothes, a small leather jacket that looked like it cost more than she made in 2 months, imported sneakers, a designer backpack. "Ethan, what's your dad's full name?" "Michael Harrison. He has a very big office," said the boy, calmer now. Jessica's heart raced. Michael Harrison wasn't just any businessman. He was one of the richest men in the United States, owner of a construction company empire that built skyscrapers across the country. His photo appeared in the business magazines she sometimes flipped through at newsstands when no one was looking. And there she was, a pregnant homeless woman taking care of his son. "Ethan, let's try to find your dad. Do you remember what floor you were on?" "Up high, way up high. You can see the whole city." Jessica took a deep breath. She needed to get the boy back, but how would she get into a building like that? Security would surely stop her at the entrance. "Stay here with me, Ethan. When the rain stops, we'll look for your dad." "Do you have kids?" asked Ethan, noticing Jessica's belly. "I'm going to in a few months," she replied with a sad smile. She didn't know how the birth would be, where it would be, or how she would care for a child without a home. "Is it a boy or a girl?" "I don't know yet. It will be a surprise. I wish I had a little brother," said Ethan thoughtfully. "My mum went to live in heaven when I was very little. It's just me and Dad now." Jessica felt a tug at her heart. That boy, despite all his wealth, also knew loss. "I'm sure your mother is watching over you from up above. That's why I was here when you needed help." Ethan smiled for the first time. "You really think so, Mum?" "I'm sure, sweetheart." They stayed there talking for a few more minutes until the rain let up a bit. Jessica decided she needed to act. "Come on, Ethan. I'm taking you back to your father." They crossed the street carefully. In the building lobby, Jessica hesitated. It was even more impressive inside. Marble floors, huge chandeliers, sophisticated decor. The security guard at the front desk looked her up and down suspiciously. "Can I help you?" he asked, in a tone that made it clear he thought she didn't belong there. "This boy got separated from his father." "He is," Jessica began. "Ethan! Oh my God, Ethan!" A shout echoed through the lobby. A tall black man, impeccably dressed in a navy blue suit, came running out of the elevator. His eyes found his son, and he dropped to his knees on the marble floor, not caring about his expensive suit. "Son, thank God." Michael hugged Ethan tightly, kissing his face several times. "I thought that... Where were you?" "The lady saved me, Dad. I was chasing the ball and I almost got hit by a car." Ethan pointed at Jessica. Michael looked up for the first time to really see the woman who had saved his son. He saw a black woman, pregnant, in simple, wet clothes, holding a plastic bag. But what struck him most was the kind, tired look in her eyes. You saved my son?" Michael stood up, still holding Ethan in his arms. "He was running into the street. I just did what anyone would do," said Jessica timidly. "Anyone?" Michael shook his head. "You have no idea what my son means to me." He looked more closely at Jessica, noticing her condition. The rounded belly, the worn clothes, the worn-out shoes, the lack of an umbrella, even in the rain. "What's your name?" asked Michael. "Jessica. Jessica Wilson." "Jessica, how can I thank you? How can I repay you?" "You don't need to give me anything, Mr. Harrison. I'm just glad he's okay." The security guard, who had treated Jessica with contempt until then, now looked at her with a mixture of surprise and respect. "Jessica, please, let me at least drive you home. It's raining hard and you're—" Michael hesitated, not wanting to be rude by mentioning the pregnancy. I appreciate it, but—" "Please, Mommy," Jessica interrupted Ethan. "Come with us." Jessica was surprised. The boy had called her Mommy. "Ethan, son, that's not how we—" "But she saved my life, Dad, and she's going to have a baby. We can help." Michael looked at his son, then at Jessica. There was something about the way Ethan had clung to this woman that touched him deeply. "Please, Jessica, it's the least I can do. Where can I take you?" Jessica looked down, embarrassed. I don't have anywhere to go, Mr. Harrison." "What do you mean?" "I lost my job a while ago. I couldn't pay the rent. I'm living on the streets." The silence that followed was heavy. Michael was shocked. The security guard looked away ashamed, and Ethan squeezed Jessica's hand even tighter. "Then you come to our house," declared Ethan with the simplicity typical of children. "Son, Dad, she has no house and she's going to have a baby. The mother from heaven sent her to take care of me when I needed it. Now it's our turn to take care of her." Michael was speechless at the wisdom of his 5-year-old son. He looked again at Jessica, who had risked her own safety while pregnant to save a stranger's child. "Jessica, come with us. At least until you get back on your feet." "Mr. Harrison, I can't accept." "You can and you will accept. This isn't up for discussion. Come on." Michael motioned for the security guard to call his car. Within minutes, a black Cadillac pulled up in front of the building. "Good afternoon, Mr. Harrison," said the driver, a middle-aged man named Robert. "Good thing you found little Ethan." "Yes, Robert, thanks to Jessica here," Michael said as he helped Jessica into the car. It was the first time Jessica had ever been in such a luxurious vehicle. The leather seats were soft, the air conditioning was set to the perfect temperature, and there was even a small television screen on the back of the front seats. As they drove through the streets of New York City, Ethan excitedly told his father how Jessica had saved him. Michael listened, casting grateful glances at Jessica through the rearview mirror. "Where to, sir?" asked Robert. "Home. And Robert, please prepare the guest room." "Mr. Harrison, I really can't—" "Michael, really, call me Michael. And yes, you can. It's the least I can do for the woman who saved my reason for living." The car climbed the hills of the Upper East Side, passing increasingly impressive mansions. Jessica looked out the window, amazed. She had never been in that part of the city before. When they arrived at the Harrison home, Jessica could hardly believe her eyes. It was a stately mansion with perfectly manicured gardens, a fountain at the entrance, and a stunning view of the city. "We're here," Robert announced. Michael helped Jessica out of the car. She felt completely out of place. "This is our house," Ethan said proudly, pulling Jessica's hand. "Come see." As they entered, they were greeted by a middle-aged woman in an impeccable uniform. "Mr. Michael, thank God Ethan is safe. I was beside myself," the woman exclaimed. "It's all right, Martha. Ethan is safe thanks to Jessica," Michael introduced them. "Martha, this is Jessica Wilson. She saved Ethan's life. Jessica, this is Martha, our housekeeper and the guardian angel of this house." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now continuing. Martha looked at Jessica, immediately noticing her pregnancy and her humble clothes, but her eyes filled with tears as she understood what had happened. "My dear, how can I ever thank you?" Martha took Jessica's hands. "This boy is our whole life." "There's no need to thank me," said Jessica, moved by the warm welcome. "Martha, prepare the best guest room for Jessica, and see if we have any clothes that might fit her. She will be staying with us for a while," Michael said firmly. "But Michael—" "No buts. It's decided." Martha smiled and turned to Jessica. "Come with me, dear. I'll get everything ready for you. You must be tired." Ethan tugged at Jessica's hand. "I want to show Mommy Jessica my house first." Michael didn't correct his son this time. There was something about how Ethan had connected with Jessica that moved him. The boy led Jessica through the rooms of the mansion, a living room with 6-meter-high ceilings, a dining room that could seat 20 people, a library with thousands of books, and a study with a panoramic view of the city. "This is my room." Ethan opened a door to reveal a room larger than any place Jessica had ever lived. Imported toys were everywhere. A race car-shaped bed, a large-screen TV, shelves full of children's books, and a small slide leading to a play area. "It's very beautiful, Ethan," said Jessica, her voice choked with emotion. "When your baby is born, they can come play here with me," Ethan offered generously. Jessica knelt down with difficulty and hugged the boy. The purity of this child touched her deeply. "You are a very special boy, you know that? My mommy in heaven told me that once," Ethan said seriously. "She appeared in my dream and said I was special, and that one day I would meet another special mommy too. You're her." Jessica felt the tears fall. That child, even without fully understanding, was offering her something she thought she had lost forever. A family. Michael appeared in the bedroom doorway. "Ethan, let Jessica rest a little." Martha prepared her room. "But Dad, I want to stay with Mommy Jessica more. Tomorrow you can talk more. Today was a very difficult day for all of us." Martha led Jessica to a guest room on the ground floor. When she opened the door, Jessica was speechless. It was a beautiful room with a king-size bed, fine wood furniture, a private bathroom, and a beautiful view of the garden. "There are clean clothes in the closet, toiletries in the bathroom, and if you need anything, just ring this bell," explained Martha, pointing to a button beside the bed. "Martha, this is all very—" "It's the least, dear. You saved our boy. We can never repay you for that." When she was alone, Jessica sat on the bed and finally let her emotions out. She cried from relief, from gratitude, from accumulated exhaustion. For the first time in weeks, she was in a safe, dry place. She took a long bath in the luxurious tub, letting the hot water relax her sore muscles. There were scented soaps, expensive shampoos, soft towels. It was like being in a dream. When she got out of the bath, she found a simple but new dress in her size laid out on the bed. Martha had thought of everything. She got dressed and lay down on the soft bed. She put her hand on her stomach and whispered, "My baby, today our lives changed. I don't know for how long, but today we are safe." She slept deeply for the first time in months. The next day she woke to a soft knock on the door. It was Martha with a breakfast tray. "Good morning, dear. How did you sleep?" "Like I've never slept in my life," Jessica answered honestly. "Mr. Michael has already left for the office, but he left a message that he wants to speak with you when he returns. Ethan is at school, but he won't stop asking when you're going to wake up." "Martha, can I ask you a question?" "Of course, dear." "How long have you worked here?" 15 years. I saw Ethan being born. I saw Mrs. Sarah get sick and pass away. I've cared for this family through its most difficult times. What was Michael's wife like?" Martha smiled fondly. "Sarah was a wonderful woman, a doctor dedicated to the poor. She worked for free in underprivileged communities. She died when Ethan was 3. A very aggressive cancer. That must have been very hard for Michael. It was devastating. He buried himself in his work, lived only for business and for taking care of Ethan. He never wanted anything to do with relationships again. Until yesterday, I had never seen him bring a woman to this house. But I'm not... I know, dear. You're here out of gratitude. But I saw how he looked at you yesterday. And I saw how Ethan has attached himself to you. There's something special happening here. Jessica ate in silence, processing Martha's words. She couldn't fool herself. She was there out of charity, nothing more. During the day, Martha took her to see more of the house. A professional kitchen, pantry, laundry room, a small chapel, even a home theatre. It was impressive. "What's it like taking care of all this?" asked Jessica. "I have help. A cleaning crew comes 3 times a week. We have a gardener, a driver. But the day-to-day work is done by me and 2 other employees. It must be very tiring. I'm getting old, dear. Sometimes I think about retiring, but I can't bring myself to leave this family." In the afternoon, Ethan came home from school, excited. "Mommy, Jessica, you're still here!" He ran to hug her. "Of course I am, sweetie. Tell Dad you're going to stay forever." "Ethan, honey, I can't stay forever. I have to find a job, a place to live." "But you can work here, and live here too," said Ethan as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. That night, Michael arrived earlier. He found Jessica and Ethan in the living room, the boy showing his school books. "How was your first day here?" asked Michael. "Wonderful. Martha was very kind. But Michael, I need to talk about my situation. We'll talk after dinner. Now, let's eat." Martha prepared something special. Dinner was served in the smaller, more intimate dining room. Martha had gone all out. Soup for starters, grilled salmon with vegetables, a delicious dessert. Jessica ate with pleasure. She couldn't remember the last time she'd had a full meal like that. "Mommy, Jessica, will you take me to school tomorrow?" asked Ethan. "Son, Jessica isn't—" "Of course I can take you to school," Jessica interrupted, "if your father allows it." Michael looked at her surprised but nodded. "That would be great. Normally it's Robert who takes him, but I know Ethan would love it." After dinner, Ethan went to sleep and Michael invited Jessica to talk in the library. It was a cozy environment, with leather armchairs and a lit fireplace. "Jessica, tell me your story. How did you end up on the streets?" Jessica took a deep breath. "I worked as a cleaner for a cleaning company. I lived alone in a rented room in the South Bronx. When I found out I was pregnant, I was happy. I always wanted to be a mother." She paused. "But I didn't know who the father was. It was a complicated relationship. When I told him about the pregnancy, he said it wasn't his problem and disappeared. I'm sorry. I managed to work until the 5th month. After that, it got difficult, with nausea and tiredness. I lost my job. I tried to get another one, but who hires a pregnant woman? The money I had saved ran out. I couldn't pay the rent." Michael listened in silence, moved. "The landlord gave me a week to leave. I had no family. I had nowhere to go. I ended up on the street." "How long ago?" 3 weeks. It's been the 3 hardest weeks of my life. Sleeping on stoops, begging for food, trying to protect my baby." Jessica's voice broke. "Yesterday, when I saved Ethan, I didn't think of anything other than protecting a child. It didn't matter who he was. And that's exactly what impressed me. Any woman in your condition would think of herself first. But you risked your safety and your babies for a stranger. Children deserve protection, no matter where they come from." Michael stood up and walked to the window. "Jessica, I have a proposal for you." "Michael, hear me out first. Martha is getting older and needs help. Ethan needs someone to accompany him more closely with his studies and activities. This house needs special care. What are you proposing? A job? You would be Martha's assistant and responsible for Ethan's care. You'd get a salary, official employment papers, full health insurance for you and your baby, and you'd live here." Jessica fell silent, not believing what she was hearing. "Michael, that's very generous, but—" "No buts. It's a professional proposal. You need a job. I need someone I can trust to care for my son. someone who has already proven they are capable of protecting him with their own life. People will talk. They'll think that. Let them think whatever they want. People who know me know what kind of man I am. And you would live in the maid's quarters, all professional. Can I think about it? You can, but don't take too long. I want to resolve your situation before the baby is born. Jessica went up to her room with her heart racing. It was more than she could have dreamed of. A job, a home, security for her son. But would it be right to accept so much help? That night she had trouble sleeping. Not from discomfort, but from emotion. Her life had completely changed in one day. The next morning she took Ethan to school as promised. The boy was beaming. "Teacher Jennifer, this is Mommy Jessica," he introduced proudly. The teacher looked at Jessica with surprise. "Oh, you must be Ethan's new nanny." "Actually," Jessica began. "She's not a nanny, she's my new mommy," declared Ethan. The teacher looked even more confused. Other mothers present began to murmur among themselves. Jessica felt uncomfortable. "Ethan, honey, let's clear that up later, okay?" she said gently. On the way back home, Jessica talked to Ethan. "Sweetie, I'm not your mommy, I'm your friend. You have a mommy in heaven, remember?" "I know. But the mommy in heaven said you would take care of me here. Doesn't that make you my mommy here?" The child's logic touched Jessica's heart. That child had lost his mother so early and had connected with her so purely. "I will always take care of you, Ethan. Always." "So you are my mommy," he smiled, satisfied. In the afternoon, Michael arrived home early from work. "So, have you thought about my proposal?" "I accept, but with a few conditions." "Which ones?" "I want to make it clear to everyone that it's a professional relationship. I don't want people to think I'm taking advantage of the situation, and I want to really contribute, not just be another mouth to feed." "I agree. Martha already told me she's excited about the possibility of having an assistant. And about the salary. $3,000 a month plus benefits. It's what I would pay any qualified person." Jessica almost cried. She had never earned so much money in her life. "When can I start?" "You've already started. Martha will guide you on everything." In the following days, Jessica quickly integrated into the household routine. She woke up early to help Martha with breakfast, took Ethan to school, took care of organizing the rooms, picked Ethan up in the afternoon, and helped him with his homework. At night, after dinner, it was common for her and Michael to talk in the library or on the porch. They talked about the day, about Ethan, about plans for the future. "How are you feeling with all the changes?" Michael asked one night. "It still feels like a dream. 2 weeks ago I was sleeping on the street. Today I have a job, a home, security." "You deserve it, Jessica. You're a good person, hard-working, caring with Ethan." "I still can't believe Ethan has become so attached to me. Since his mother died, he never connected with any woman like this. There were nannies, teachers, but he never formed a real bond with any of them. Maybe because he felt they were temporary, that they would leave." "And you? Will you leave?" Jessica looked him in the eyes. "Not if you don't want me to." Something changed in the air between them. A subtle tension, a recognition that there was more than gratitude and work there. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out, now continuing. The weeks passed. Jessica became completely settled into the family's routine. She had regular prenatal checkups at the best hospital in the city, with the best doctors. Her baby was developing perfectly. Ethan continued to call her Mommy Jessica, and she had stopped correcting him. She saw how much it meant to him. One afternoon, while helping Ethan with a school diorama, Michael came home early. "How's the project coming?" he asked, approaching. "It's turning out beautiful," said Ethan. "Mommy Jessica is so smart." Michael smiled and sat down next to them. There was something different about him lately. He was more present, came home earlier, participated more in the routine with Ethan. "Michael, can I ask you something?" Jessica said while Ethan was focused on the diorama. "Sure." "Why did you change your routine? Martha told me you used to always come home late." Michael hesitated. You made me realize I was missing important moments with Ethan, that he needs a father, not just a provider. It's good to see you more present, Ethan beams when you arrive. And you? Do you beam too? The question caught Jessica by surprise. There was an intensity in Michael's gaze that made her blush. I'm happy when the family is together. Family. I like that word. That night after Ethan was asleep, Michael found Jessica tidying the living room. Leave that for tomorrow. Sit with me for a while. They sat on the porch, as had become their habit. The garden was beautifully lit, and the night was cool. Jessica, can I be honest with you? Always. These 2 months with you here have changed my life. Not just Ethan's, but mine too. How so? I had given up on many things after Sarah died, given up on having a truly happy home, given up on feeling again. Jessica felt her heart race. Michael, I'm not saying this to pressure you. I know you're here as an employee. I know you might not feel the same. But I need to be honest. I'm falling in love with you. The silence that followed was charged with emotion. Jessica felt the same way, but she was afraid of ruining everything, of losing the home she had found. Michael, I feel something too, but it's complicated. Why? You're my boss. I live in your house. I depend on you. How can I be sure my feelings are real or if it's just gratitude? And how can I be sure mine are real or if it's just the happiness of seeing Ethan happy? They laughed together at the complexity of the situation. What do we do? Asked Jessica. We take it slow, no pressure, letting things happen naturally. And Ethan? Ethan already sees us as a family. For him, it would be the most natural thing in the world. That night, Jessica went to sleep even more confused but also hopeful. She had found much more than a job and a home. She had found love. The following days were different. Small gestures changed. Michael would touch her hand when passing an object. He smiled more. His eyes lingered on her. Jessica found herself fixing her hair more carefully, choosing nicer clothes. Martha noticed. It's so good to see Joy returning to this house, she commented one morning. What are you talking about? Dear, I've worked here for 15 years. I know this family. And I can tell you I haven't seen Mr. Michael smile like that since before Mrs. Sarah got sick. Martha? And you're different too. More beautiful, more radiant. It's not just the pregnancy. It's happiness. Jessica blushed. Is it that obvious? To those with eyes to see, yes. And I'm rooting for you. This house needs true love again. One morning, Jessica woke up with different pains. They weren't the usual pregnancy pains. They were more intense, more regular. Martha, she called out, worried. The housekeeper came running. What is it, dear? I think the baby is coming. But you're only 8 months along. I know, but the pains... Martha didn't waste any time. She immediately called Michael. Mr. Michael, you need to come home now. Jessica is in labor. Michael dropped everything and rushed home. He found Jessica in the living room, breathing heavily, Martha by her side. How are you? He asked, kneeling beside her. Scared. It's too early. It's going to be okay. We're going to the hospital right now. Michael carried her to the car. The whole way there, he held her hand, whispering words of encouragement. Everything will be fine, Jessica. The baby will be born healthy. And what if it's not? What if... Don't think about that. Think about how beautiful it will be to see your son in your arms. At the hospital, Jessica was immediately seen by the best doctors. Michael used all his influence to ensure she received the best care. Mr. Harrison, said the obstetrician after examining her, labor has indeed started, but the baby is in a complicated position. We will try for a natural birth, but she may need a C-section. Do whatever is necessary. Don't spare any resources. The following hours were tense. Michael didn't leave Jessica's side, holding her hand, wiping her sweat, being the support she needed. Why are you here? Jessica asked between contractions. Where else would I be? You should be working. There's no more important place in the world for me to be right now. Finally, after 8 hours of labor, the baby was born, a small but healthy girl. "She's a beautiful girl," announced the doctor, placing the baby on Jessica's chest. Jessica cried with emotion and relief. Michael was also emotional watching the scene. "What will her name be?" he asked. Hope Wilson." "Why?" "Because she represents all the hope I thought I had lost. Hope for a better life, for a family, for love." Michael held the baby's tiny hand. "Hello, Hope. Welcome to our family." The words came out naturally, without thinking. "Our family." Jessica smiled through her tears. "Our family? If you want. If you both want." 3 days later, Jessica and Hope were discharged. At home, Ethan was euphoric to meet his little sister. "She's so tiny," he whispered, amazed. "Can I pet her?" "Of course, sweetie." Very carefully. Ethan delicately touched Hope's little hand. "Hi, little sister. I'm Ethan, your big brother. I'll take care of you forever." Michael and Jessica looked at each other, moved. The first months with Hope were intense. Jessica divided her time between caring for the baby and her duties around the house. Michael hired a night nanny so she could rest better. "I don't need a nanny, I can take care of my daughter," Jessica protested. "You can, but you don't have to do it alone. You do so much for this family, let the family take care of you too." Life settled into a new routine. Ethan loved helping with his sister. Michael was increasingly present. Martha had gained a new energy with a baby in the house. One night, when Hope was 3 months old, Michael knocked on Jessica's bedroom door. "Can I come in?" "Of course, Hope just fell asleep." Michael entered and sat in the armchair next to the crib. "How are you feeling?" "Tired, but happy. Very happy." "Jessica, I need to talk to you about something serious." Jessica's heart raced. Was this the moment he would say he didn't need her anymore? "What is it?" "These months taking care of you both, seeing you be a mother, seeing how Ethan loves you. I'm sure of what I feel." "Michael, let me finish. I love you, Jessica. I love you as a woman. I love Hope as if she were my own daughter. I want us to be a real family." "What are you asking me?" Michael stood up and took a small box from his pocket. "I'm asking for your hand in marriage." Jessica held her breath. Inside the box was a discreet but beautiful ring. "Michael, this is very... I know it's fast. I know our story is unusual, but love doesn't follow conventional rules. You turned our house into a home. You brought joy back into our lives. Marry me, Jessica. Let me be Hope's father officially. Let Ethan have the mother he chose." Jessica was crying. Yes, I accept." Michael placed the ring on her finger and kissed her for the first time. It was sweet, full of promises and true love. From the hallway, a muffled squeal was heard. It was Ethan, peeking. "You're getting married. I'm going to have a real mommy and a little sister forever." They laughed and called the boy over for a hug. The wedding was planned for 6 months later, when Hope would be bigger. It would be an intimate ceremony just for family and close friends. Martha was radiant. "I've never seen this house so happy. It's as if Mrs. Sarah is smiling down from heaven." The months of preparation passed quickly. Jessica still couldn't quite believe her luck. From a pregnant homeless woman to the bride of one of the richest men in the country. But it wasn't about the money. It was about the love that had grown between them, about the family they had built. A week before the wedding, they received an unexpected visitor. It was an elegant, middle-aged woman with a distinctly unfriendly expression. "Michael, I need to speak with you. Alone," said the woman. "Rebecca? What are you doing here?" Michael seemed surprised and uncomfortable. "I'm Sarah's sister, I'm Ethan's aunt, and I'm worried about the decisions you're making." Jessica stood up to leave, but Michael held her hand. "Rebecca, this is Jessica, my fiancée. Jessica, this is Rebecca, my first wife's sister." "Fiancée?" Rebecca looked Jessica up and down with disdain. "Michael, can we speak in private?" "No. Jessica is part of my life. Anything you have to say, you can say in front of her." "Fine. I heard you're going to marry your maid. A woman you picked up off the street. This is absurd." Michael stood up, his face darkening. Watch your words, Rebecca. Sarah is barely cold in her grave, and you're already replacing her with that. Enough! Michael slammed his fist on the table. Jessica saved Ethan's life. She is a hard-working, honest, caring woman. I won't allow you to speak of her like that. You're being deceived. She took advantage of the situation. She seduced you. Rebecca, you have 5 minutes to leave my house and don't come back. Michael, think of Ethan. What will he suffer when this woman shows her true colors and abandons you? The only person making Ethan suffer right now is you. Get out! Rebecca shot one last venomous look at Jessica and left, slamming the door. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, please take a moment to like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out now continuing. I'm sorry about that, said Michael, hugging Jessica. Rebecca has always been bitter. She was jealous of her sister. She's jealous of other people's happiness. Michael, maybe she's right about some things. Maybe people really do think I'm taking advantage. I don't care what they think. I care about what I know about you, about us. But what if she's right about me being a replacement for Sarah? Michael held Jessica's face in his hands. You are not a replacement for anyone. You are unique. You are the woman I have chosen to love again. You are the mother Ethan has chosen to have. I'm afraid, Michael, afraid I won't be enough for this life, for this family. You are this family, Jessica. We are a family because of you. The night before the wedding, Jessica was nervous. Martha found her on the balcony looking at the stars. Nervous, dear? Very. Tomorrow my life changes forever. For the better. You deserve all the happiness in the world. Martha, can I ask you a personal question? Of course. Do you think Sarah would approve? Do you think she would be angry with Michael for marrying again? Martha smiled affectionately. Dear, Sarah was a doctor. She dedicated her life to saving people. You saved her son. If she were here, I am certain she would be your biggest supporter. How can you be so sure? Because one day, shortly before she died, Sarah told me, Martha, if Michael ever finds someone who loves Ethan as I do, who will care for him as I would, you must support it. I don't want my men to be alone forever. Jessica began to cry. She really said that? She did. And you do more than love and care for Ethan. You brought joy back to him. You brought new life to this house. Sarah would be proud. The wedding day dawned beautifully. Jessica woke up early, nervous but happy. Martha helped her get ready. The dress was simple but elegant. Michael had insisted that she choose something that made her feel beautiful, not something that would impress others. The ceremony would be in the garden of the house, decorated with white flowers. There were few guests, some close friends of Michael's, employees who had become family, and the special attendants Ethan and Hope. When the time came, Jessica came down the stairs carrying Hope with Ethan by her side. Mom, you look beautiful, said Ethan. Michael was waiting for her at the makeshift altar in the garden. When he saw her, his eyes filled with tears. It wasn't just because of her beauty, but because of everything that moment represented. The judge began the ceremony. We are here to join Michael Harrison and Jessica Wilson in matrimony. But more than that, we are celebrating the union of a family that chose each other, that was built on love and mutual dedication. Michael and Jessica had written their own vows. Michael began, Jessica, when you saved Ethan on that rainy day, you didn't know you were saving me too. You were saving our family from a life without true joy. I promise to love you, Hope, and our Ethan forever. I promise to be the husband and father you deserve. Jessica, her voice choked with emotion. Michael, you gave me so much more than a home. You gave me a family, a purpose, a love I didn't know existed. I promise to take care of you and Ethan like I take care of Hope, with all the love in my heart. I promise to make this house a home full of joy, always. Ethan asked to speak. Mom, Jessica, thank you for saving me. Thank you for staying. Now we are family forever. There wasn't a dry eye in the garden. When the judge declared them husband and wife, Michael kissed Jessica, while Ethan clapped and Hope babbled in her mother's arms. The reception was simple but joyful. Dancing, delicious food prepared by Martha, lots of laughter and tears of happiness. During the couple's dance, Michael whispered in Jessica's ear, "What are you thinking about? About how mysterious life is. If I hadn't lost everything, I would never have found you. Fate? Or a stubborn boy who doesn't listen when his father tells him not to run after a ball into the street," she laughed. "I'm going to scold him later for giving us such a scare. Don't you dare, he gave us the greatest blessing of our lives." When the party was over and the guests had left, the Harrison family, now officially a family, gathered in the living room. "Mom, is Hope going to be a Harrison now too?" asked Ethan. "Yes, dear, now we are all Harrisons." "And we're going to stay together forever?" "Forever," promised Michael. The following months were a time of adjusting to the new life. Jessica was now Mrs. Harrison, but she remained the same simple and caring person. Hope was growing up healthy and beautiful. Ethan was a devoted older brother. Michael had found the perfect balance between work and family. 1 year after the marriage, Jessica discovered she was pregnant again. "Another baby for our family," Ethan celebrated when he found out. "How do you feel?" Michael asked, hugging his wife. "Complete. Completely happy and fulfilled." During the second pregnancy, well cared for and without financial worries, Jessica flourished. She was radiant, happy, loved. "Sometimes, I still can't believe this is real," she confessed to Michael one night. "It is real. It's our life. It's our love. Do you have any regrets about marrying a former homeless woman?" "I regret only one thing." "What?" "That I didn't find you sooner." The second child was born without complications. A beautiful boy, whom they named William in honor of Hope's biological father. "Now our family is complete," said Michael, holding his newborn son. "You think so?" "I'm sure. 2 children of our own, plus Ethan. It's perfection." Ethan, now 7 years old, was enchanted with his baby brother. "Now I can teach him soccer, just like my dad taught me." Life went on peacefully and happily. Michael expanded the business, but never again at the expense of his family. Jessica became involved in social work, helping pregnant women in vulnerable situations. "I want to give back to life for all the kindness I received," she would explain. They created a foundation that offered temporary shelter, medical assistance, and vocational courses for women in situations similar to what Jessica had experienced. "Seeing you help other women makes me very proud," said Michael. "I learned that when we receive a lot, we have to give a lot too." The New Beginnings Foundation became a reference in the city. Jessica would personally visit every woman taken in, offering not just material help, but emotional support. One afternoon, a young pregnant woman arrived at the foundation. She was in an identical situation to what Jessica had lived through years before. "Please, I need help. I have nowhere to go," said the young woman, crying. Jessica hugged her. "You're safe now. We'll take care of you and your baby." That night she told Michael about the young woman. "I saw myself in her. Same age, same situation, same despair. And now she has a chance that I had thanks to you, thanks to the kindness I found. Thanks to your generous heart, which saved a child without asking for anything in return." 5 years had passed since that rainy day. Ethan was 10 years old and was an intelligent and affectionate boy. Hope, at 4 years old, was a happy and talkative girl. William, at 3 years old, was the family clown. One evening, during a family dinner, Ethan asked a question. "Mom, you saved my life that day, right?" "Yes, I did, my love." "But really, you saved all of us, right?" Michael and Jessica looked at each other, moved. "What do you mean, son?" "You saved me from the accident. You saved Dad from sadness. You saved our home from a lack of joy. And you brought Hope and William to complete our family." "Ethan," Jessica's eyes were welling up. "It's true. Before you came, Dad was just sad. Now he laughs every day." Michael took Jessica's hand across the table. "Your son is right. You saved us." "No. You are the ones who saved me. You gave me a family, a purpose, love. Then we saved each other," said Ethan with his childlike wisdom. That night, After the children were asleep, Michael and Jessica stayed on the porch, as they always did. 5 years, said Michael. 5 years, repeated Jessica. It feels like a lifetime, and at the same time it feels like it was yesterday. You've changed a lot. For the better. Into the most beautiful, inside and out. Motherhood, happiness, love. You shine, Jessica. It's the effect of being truly loved. And me, have I changed? Jessica smiled. You became the man I dreamed of having by my side when I found out I was pregnant the first time. Caring, present, dedicated to the family. Ethan taught me that working too much doesn't bring anyone back. You taught me that it's worth risking loving again. They fell silent, listening to the sounds of the night, feeling the gentle breeze. Michael, can I tell you a secret? Always. Sometimes I'm afraid I'll wake up and find out it was all a dream, that I'm still in that rainy day with nowhere to go. It wasn't a dream, it was destiny. It was God, it was love. How can you be so sure? Because true love is recognizable, and what I feel for you, what you feel for me, what we've built together, that's too real to be a dream. A week later, during a foundation event, Jessica was giving a speech to business people who wanted to donate to the cause. 5 years ago, I was one of those women we help today, pregnant, homeless, without hope. One act of courage changed my life. I saved a child and, without knowing it, I saved myself. The audience listened attentively. Each one of you can be the miracle in someone's life. Every donation, every word of support, every job opportunity you offer can be the difference between despair and hope. Michael was at the back of the auditorium, proud of his wife. Love multiplies. When we are loved, we can love more. When we receive help, we can help more. That's how we change the world, one life at a time. The applause was emotional. Several businesswomen approached after the speech offering help. You were incredible, said Michael in the car on the way home. I learned from the best. From me? From you and from Ethan. You taught me that kindness begets kindness. At home, the children were already asleep. Martha, now over 60 but still active, had taken care of everything. How was the event? She asked. Wonderful. We secured several new partnerships. That's great. You do such beautiful work. Martha, can I ask you something? Of course, dear. Have you ever thought about retiring? Enjoying life. I don't know how to do anything else but take care of this family. You are my life. You are part of our family too. You always will be. Michael came up behind them and hugged both women. You are the most important people in my life. After the kids, of course. Of course, they laughed together. The next morning, Jessica woke up with a strange feeling. Nausea, dizziness. It can't be, she murmured, putting her hand on her stomach. But it was. She was pregnant again. Michael, I need to tell you something, she said during breakfast. What is it? We're having another baby. Ethan almost choked on his juice. Another little brother. Or little sister, corrected Michael, hugging his wife. How do you feel? Scared. William is still so little. We'll manage. We're a team. Can I choose the name? Asked Ethan. We'll all choose it together, said Jessica. Hope, who had heard everything, clapped her hands. I want a little sister. And if it's a boy, then I want a little brother. The pregnancy progressed smoothly. The family was thrilled about the arrival of the new member. One afternoon, Jessica was resting in the bedroom when Ethan came in. Mom, can I ask you something? Of course, honey. Why did you save me that day? Because you were in danger, sweetheart. But you didn't know me. You could have gotten hurt. Jessica thought about the question. You know, Ethan, when you see a child in danger, you don't stop to think. Your heart acts faster than your head, and my heart told me to protect you. Even though you had a baby in your belly? Especially because of that. I was going to be a mother, so I already loved all the children in the world. Ethan lay down next to his mother. "Mommy, do you think when I grow up I'll know how to protect people like you do?" "I'm sure of it. You already protect your siblings, you protect your friends at school. You have a generous heart like your father. I want to be like you and Dad when I grow up. You already are like us, sweetheart, on the inside where it matters." The family's fourth child was born without complications, a beautiful girl who was named Sarah, in honor of Michael's first wife. "Are you sure?" Michael asked, emotional. "I am. She was part of our story. Without her, Ethan wouldn't exist. It's only right to honor her." Ethan, now 11 years old, held his little sister carefully. "Hi, Sarah. I'm your big brother. I'm going to tell you all about Mommy Sarah in heaven, who was very good and gave you your name." Michael and Jessica looked at each other, moved. The maturity of that boy amazed them. With 4 children, the house was even more full of life and joy. Ethan helped with the younger ones. Hope played mommy with her dolls. William tried to imitate everything his big brother did, and Sarah was everyone's darling. "Our house feels like an amusement park," Michael joked. "And are you complaining?" "Never. It's loud, messy, chaotic, and perfect." One night, Jessica found Michael in the office, looking at family photos. "What are you thinking about?" "How surprising life is. This picture here," he showed a photo of the whole family in the garden, "was impossible 6 years ago. I was a closed-off man. Ethan was a sad child. You were alone on the street. And now? Now we're 6, a big, loud, happy family. 6? You, me, Ethan, Hope, William, Sarah, and Martha, who is our family too. 7 then. 7? There's one more member on the way." Michael's eyes widened. "Again?" Jessica laughed. "Again." "How?" "The traditional way, Michael." He picked her up, spinning her around. "My God, 5 kids!" "Are you happy?" "I'm ecstatic. Our family is growing." "What if it's twins this time?" "Even better. The more kids we have, the better." The 5th child, who turned out to be just one child, was born 2 years later. He was named Peter, and the family felt complete. "Now we're really done," Jessica declared. 5 kids is enough." "Are you sure?" Michael teased. "Absolutely, unless you want to hire 3 more nannies." "Maybe that's not a bad idea." "Michael Harrison." They laughed together. Life was busy, but full of love. Ethan, at 13, was the responsible big brother. He helped the younger ones with their homework, protected Hope at school, and taught William how to play soccer. One afternoon, he came home from school looking thoughtful. "Did something happen?" Jessica asked. "Mom, there's a new girl at school. She's like you were when you saved me." "What do you mean?" "Her clothes are old. She's always hungry. I don't think she has a proper place to live." Jessica felt her heart tighten. "What's her name?" "Emma. Emma Johnson. She's in my class, but she's always alone." "What did you do?" "I shared my lunch with her today, but she was embarrassed." Jessica hugged her son. "You did the right thing, my love. The right thing." "Can I keep helping her?" "You can, and you should. And if you need anything else, you tell me." The next day, Jessica went to pick up Ethan from school and asked to meet Emma. She was a 13-year-old girl, thin, wearing worn-out clothes, but with intelligent eyes. "Emma, nice to meet you. I'm Ethan's mom." "Hi," the girl replied timidly. "Ethan told me you two are friends. How about coming over to our house today? Can I talk to your mom?" "My mom works late, and she doesn't really care much where I am." Jessica understood the situation. "Then come have dinner with us. Ethan can help you with your homework." Emma hesitated, but finally accepted. At home, the girl was amazed by the big, close-knit family. She ate as if she hadn't eaten in days. "Emma, where do you live?" Michael asked kindly. "With my mom in a boarding house, but sometimes she forgets to pay and we have to leave." Michael and Jessica looked at each other. They knew that story well. "How about coming here for dinner every day after school?" Jessica offered. "I can't pay. No one is asking for payment. It's an offer from friends." Emma started coming over every day. She did homework with Ethan, played with the younger kids, and helped Martha in the kitchen. Gradually, she told her story. Her mother had problems with alcohol. Her father had abandoned the family. Sometimes they went days without a proper meal. "Jessica, we need to do something," Michael said one night. "I'm thinking about it, but it's delicate. We can't just take a girl from her mother. But we can't leave her in that situation." The following weekend, Jessica went to visit Emma's mother at the boarding house. What she saw shocked her. Her small dirty room, the smell of alcohol, the woman clearly drunk. "Are you Emma's mother?" "I am. What did she do now?" "Nothing. She's a wonderful girl. I came to talk about her." "If she's bothering you..." "She's not. We want to help." Jessica explained her proposal. Emma could live with them during the week, returning home on weekends. She would attend a better school, have proper meals, and get help with her studies. "In exchange for what?" the woman asked suspiciously. "Nothing, it's just help." Emma's mother agreed. She was clearly relieved not to have to worry about her daughter. "Mom, is Emma going to live here?" Hope asked when she found out. "During the week. She's going to be like a big sister to you all." "That's so cool. Now there are 6 of us kids," celebrated William. Emma fit into the family perfectly. She was smart, helpful, and affectionate with the younger ones. Ethan was overjoyed to have his friend always nearby. "You're creating an even bigger family," Michael observed one evening. "Emma needs a family, and we have more than enough love to give. Just like you needed 8 years ago." "Exactly. It's the cycle of life. We receive love, and we give love back." A year later, Emma's mother's situation worsened. She was admitted to a clinic for substance abuse. Emma was officially placed in the care of the Harrison family. "Now you're really my family?" asked Emma, her eyes shining. "We always have been," replied Jessica, hugging her. Emma's adoption was finalized 6 months later. The Harrison family now officially had 6 children: Ethan, Emma, Hope, William, Sarah, and Peter. 6 kids, said Michael, looking at all of them at the dinner table. "Our table can't even fit this many people anymore." "We're going to have to build a bigger dining room," joked Jessica. "Or buy a giant table," suggested Sarah. "I like it like this, all cozy. It makes it nicer," said Peter, the youngest. That night, Michael and Jessica talked on the porch, as always. "Did you notice what happened?" asked Michael. "What?" "Ethan saved Emma, just like you saved me." "What do you mean?" "He saw a child in a risky situation and acted. He brought her home, asked for our help. He did exactly what you did 8 years ago." Jessica smiled, touched. "It's true. He learned that protecting others is important. He learned from the best teacher. We both taught him that. You're generous too, Michael. You accepted Emma without hesitation." "How could I not? I saw in Emma the same thing I saw in you that first day." "What?" "A good person who needed a chance." The Harrison family kept growing, not in the number of biological children, but in love and unity. Emma graduated with honors from high school and got into the law program at the best university in New York City. "I want to be a lawyer to help families like mine was helped," she said. Ethan chose medicine, inspired by the story of his father's first wife. "I want to save lives like Mother Sarah used to save, just like you saved mine and Emma's." Hope showed a talent for music. William loved sports. Sarah wanted to be a teacher. Peter, still little, said he wanted to be just like his father. "We have a family of people who want to do good in the world," observed Michael. "That's what happens when children are raised with love and values," replied Jessica. 10 years had passed since that rainy day. The family was gathered celebrating Michael and Jessica's wedding anniversary. 10 years, Michael joked. "Do you regret saving a disobedient boy on the street?" "Never," laughed Jessica. "Best decision of my life." "Hey," protested Ethan, now a 15-year-old young man. "I wasn't disobedient, I was adventurous." "You were stubborn," corrected Emma, "just like you still are today." "But it was his stubbornness that brought our family together," said Hope, always the romantic. "Do you think if I hadn't run after the ball that day, none of this would have happened?" asked Ethan. "I think one way or another you would have found each other," said Sarah with her 8 years of wisdom. "Good people always find each other." "That's some deep philosophy for an 8-year-old, laughed Michael. "I learned it from you," replied Sarah, making everyone laugh. That night, after the children were asleep, Michael and Jessica were alone in the living room. 10 years married, 15 years of family, said Michael. They've been the best years of my life. And mine too. You turned a bitter man into a happy person again. You gave me a reason to live when I thought I had lost everything. We saved each other. And we saved 6 kids in the process. Emma especially. Imagine if we hadn't taken her in. I don't even want to imagine it. She's our daughter just as much as the others. Do you think we'll have more surprises ahead? With this family, I'm sure we will. And they were right. 2 years later, Martha introduced her great-niece Mary, a 10-year-old who had lost her parents in an accident. I can't raise a child at my age, said Martha, crying, but I can't leave her in the shelter. She can stay with us, said Jessica immediately. Jessica, began Michael. Michael, look at her. She's a child who needs a family. We have a family that can take her in. Michael looked at Mary, a black girl with sad eyes, clearly frightened by the situation. Of course she can stay, forever, if she wants. Mary fit into the family, as if she had always belonged there. She was quiet at first, but little by little she opened up. Now we're 7 kids, celebrated Peter, always excited about new siblings. 7 kids, 2 dads, and a grandma, said Ethan, referring affectionately to Martha. 10 people in this house, counted William. We're a full soccer team. The Harrison home became a neighborhood reference as a welcoming family. The kids' friends always felt welcome. Children in need found support. Your house has a special energy, commented a mother from the school. It's love, replied Jessica. When a house is built on love, it multiplies. Jessica's foundation grew and became one of the most respected institutions supporting vulnerable women in New York City. She received awards, gave talks, inspired others. But she always said, "It all started when a child gave me the chance to be a hero for a day. The rest was a consequence." Michael expanded the business, but always maintained ethical values. He created a paid internship program for young people from underprivileged communities. "Opportunity transforms lives," he would say. "I know because I've seen it happen in my own home." The children grew up with a strong social conscience. They all got involved in volunteer projects, helped with the foundation's activities when possible. "You've raised a generation of good people," observed Martha. "They were born good," replied Jessica. "We just set the example." 15 years after that rainy day, the Harrison family was a benchmark of love and unity. Ethan was in medical school, Emma was studying law, Hope had won a music scholarship. "Remember when you asked me if I regretted saving you?" Jessica said to Ethan in a conversation. "I remember. Now I can answer with absolute certainty. It was the best thing I've ever done in my life." "Even though you had to put up with all of us?" joked Ethan. "Especially because I had to put up with all of you." One afternoon, Jessica was at the foundation when she received an unexpected visitor. It was a well-dressed, middle-aged woman who looked familiar. "Jessica Harrison?" "Yes. Can I help you? I'm Rebecca, Sarah's sister." Jessica stiffened. It was the woman who had been so cruel before the marriage. "What do you want?" I've come to apologize." Jessica was surprised. "What?" "I know I was terrible to you. I said horrible things. I tried to break you up. I was driven by jealousy and the pain of having lost my sister. And now I see what you've built. I saw Ethan in college. He told me about the family, about how you've cared for him all these years. I saw the news about your work at the foundation, about how you help other women." Rebecca had tears in her eyes. "I realized that Sarah would be proud, that you gave her son and her husband a better life than she could have given if she were alive." Jessica was moved. "Rebecca, can I meet my nephews? Not the others, I know I'm nothing to them, but at least Ethan." "Of course you can. Everyone is welcome. Family is family. Even after how I treated you. Especially because of that. Forgiveness frees the one who forgives more than the one who is forgiven." The reunion of Rebecca with Ethan was emotional. She cried when she saw the young man he had become. "You look just like your mother at that age," she said. "She would be so proud." "I have 2 mothers to be proud," replied Ethan. the one in heaven and the one here. Rebecca became a constant presence in the family. She helped at the foundation, took care of her adoptive grandchildren. She was the loving aunt she had forgotten how to be. Another person saved by the love of this family, joked Michael. Love really does multiply, agreed Jessica. On the night of their 15th wedding anniversary, the whole family was gathered. 7 children, 2 fathers, a grandmother at heart, Martha, and a recovered aunt, Rebecca. 15 years, said Michael, raising his glass. A toast to the woman who saved a child, and without knowing it, saved an entire family. A toast to the man who gave me a chance when I had nothing to offer, Jessica retorted. A toast to our crazy and wonderful family, shouted Ethan. Everyone laughed and toasted. Do you think our story will have a happy ending? Asked Sarah, always dramatic. Our story has no ending, replied Michael. It continues every day, with every act of love, with every person we help, with every smile we share. It's true, agreed Jessica. Our story is about second chances, about love that multiplies, about family that you choose, and about a stubborn boy who didn't know how to obey when his father said not to run after the ball, laughed Emma. Hey, if I had obeyed, none of this would have happened, defended Ethan. Exactly, that's why you're still the hero of our story, said Hope. No, corrected Ethan, looking at Jessica. The hero is the one who saved the boy, not the one who was saved. We are all heroes, said Jessica. Every time we choose love over fear, generosity over selfishness, unity over separation. We are the heroes of our own story, and they really were. That improbably large and loud family was living proof that love knows no social barriers, that kindness begets kindness, that second chances can become entire life stories. Outside it started to rain again, the same rain that 15 years earlier had been the backdrop for the meeting that changed their lives. It's raining, observed Peter. That's good, said Jessica. Rain brings good things to our family. Everyone laughed, remembering the story. And they stayed there, united, listening to the rain, grateful for every drop that had brought them there. Because sometimes the best meetings happen on the stormiest days, and sometimes saving someone is actually saving yourself too. And so, with rain outside and love inside the house, the Harrison family continued writing their story. A story that began with an act of courage and turned into a whole life of love, unity and happiness. A story that proved that it doesn't matter where you come from, but where you are going. And that, with love, any destiny can be rewritten. End of story. So, what did you think of this story of love and overcoming? Do you think Jessica made the right choices? Tell us here in the comments. We want to know your honest opinion. If this story touched your heart, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more heartwarming stories that warm the soul.